you know that most salary earners who retire without a house of their own is not because of how much they earned while in service, but because of what they didn't know? Now, see the story of Mr. Joe Iruwere, a retired civil servant. He said, "I didn't know I had rights to a mortgage loan despite my contributions. I retired without a house. If I knew earlier, my life would have turned out better. I wasted money renting apartments all my life," he lamented. But you know what? This is true with Hosea 4:6, which says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." Now, my own case is different. About 10 years ago, a real life story, I bought a house through National Housing Fund with almost zero cash input from me, except the cost of the application form. My equity contribution, that is the down payment, came from the police cooperative. I rented out the house for 1 million naira per year, while my monthly repayment deductions were far less than 1 million naira. I was making profit already even before completing the loan repayment. About 5 years down the line, the value of the house had doubled and I sold it. The profit I made established a very strong financial footing for me. Now, the truth is this: with the right information and action, no salary earner should actually retire poor or homeless. Someone took me by the hand, guided me step by step all through the way until I got the house allocated to me. That's exactly what I'm here to do for you. But please be kind to someone else by liking and sharing this video with any salary earner you know. You might save them from poverty, and God will bless you for so doing. Now, why do most workers retire homeless? Serving your country for 20 to 30 years only to retire without a roof over your head, going back to squatting with relatives, moving back to family house, or paying rent, which you might not even be able to afford. This shouldn't happen to anybody you know, or even you. Most Nigerian public sector workers have 2.5% of their gross salary deducted on monthly basis under National Housing Fund Act. This deduction is compulsory towards creating a pool of funds accessible as housing loans by workers. Sadly, many retire without knowing that this right exists. This ignorance is really very costly. Too costly. What are the benefits of National Housing Loan? You are not limited by your total contributions. Let's take, for instance, your total contributions amount to 5 million and you need 15 million. You are not limited by the 5 million. Repayment period is up to 30 years. In other words, it is being spread in such a way that what you pay monthly is very, very negligible. Another good thing about this loan is its low interest rate, 6% only. And this 6% is not reviewable upwards. It's not like commercial bank that will come and say, okay, inflation rate has eaten into the value of the initial capital. We are reviewing from 6% to 10%, 10% to 20%. No, it is fixed and regulated by the Federal Mortgage Bank, where the pool of your contribution is being domiciled. 4, monthly deductions are capped. Your salary is not subject to their whims and caprices. The law provides, that is the Labor Act, provides that no deduction can be made beyond 1/3 of your salary. So, take for instance, if your salary is 150, they can't take more than 50,000 naira on monthly basis. Again, you also discover that what is being deducted, you will recoup. Like in my own case, I was recouping in a lump sum. They were taking every month, but I was being paid annual rent far and above what was being deducted from my salary. Isn't it a good idea? I was getting lump sum every year, whereas a negligible sum was being deducted from my salary every month in offsetting the total loan sum. Again, after repayment or retirement, you are still entitled to withdraw your total contributions with interest. They give it back to you. Your total contribution while in service, they give it back to you with interest, which is about 2% interest. But remember, you must apply. You must be a Nigerian. You must be up to 18 years of age. You must have contributed to the National Housing Fund for a period of 6 months. So, for instance, you join or you start the contribution today, you have to give a gap of 6 months, consistent contribution, before you can qualify to apply for the loan. And if you're a public servant in Nigeria, you are already a contributor by default, because your consent is not required for your employers to deduct the money from source. I mean the 2.5% as provided by the law. Now, how do you apply? You don't apply to the Federal Mortgage Bank directly. You have to choose a primary mortgage bank, PMB, and open a mortgage savings account with any of the primary mortgage banks of your choice. Some of them are littered all over, but I give you examples. Living Trust Mortgage Bank PLC is there, Imperial Mortgage Bank, Gateway Mortgage Bank Limited, FHA Mortgage Bank Limited, Home Based Mortgage Bank Limited, Platinum Mortgage Bank, Nigeria Police Mortgage Bank. These are just but a few. They are just everywhere, but people are not aware. The next thing you do after opening your account with any of them you choose to work with towards getting this housing loan, you collect application form for the loan from them. You fill it out, attaching the following document: photocopy of the title document. Title document is the proof of ownership. It can be R of O, it can be C of O, it can also be deed of assignment. You bought a house, they will always give you power of attorney, deed of assignment. All you need to do is that let the deed of assignment be a registered deed of assignment. You go over to the land registry and register the title. You can now present a photocopy of it. Now, the next document you need to present is current valuation report or bill of quantities. Valuation report as regards a building, I mean a finished house, which you want to use the loan sum to buy. Bill of quantities where you want to develop from the scratch your already acquired plot. Then you have to attach 3 years tax clearance certificate. You have to get this from your Federal Inland Revenue if you're a federal worker, or State Inland Revenue Service if you are a state worker, depending on where your tax, your monthly tax goes to. Then there should be evidence of NHF participation. Evidence of NHF participation is a passbook with your registration number on it. I told you, by being a federal worker or being a public servant, or even if you are a private or self-employed person, you are also entitled to have NHF account. So by default, all government employees are all contributors. All you need to do, you go to the liaison office where the staff of NHF are. For instance, in the Nigeria Police, at First Headquarters there, they have liaison office, NHF office. You go there, you collect your passbook with your registration number on it. They will even give you account of what you have contributed so far. You see it. So with this, coupled with last 3 months pay slip, you already know how to get it. Then equity contribution. Equity contribution is the down payment. You can raise this equity contribution through your savings. If, for instance, the value of the house you want to build is 50 million, or the value of the house you want to buy is 50 million, your equity contribution is 10%. 10% is 5 million. You might have issue raising it. You can get it from your savings account, maybe where you've been saving. You can also get it through your what? Cooperative. For instance, I got mine through police cooperative. We have police cooperative where a particular sum of money is being deducted from your salary as well every month. I think it's 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira. Then you also have opportunity of increasing the contribution, but this one now has to be by your express permission. You have to tell them, okay, I want to contribute additional 10,000 naira every month into the cooperative. So these kind of contributions, they enable you to take this kind of advance. So in my own case, police cooperative advanced me my own equity contribution. So you now understand when I said it was zero cash input from me. The equity contribution from police cooperative and the main sum. So if such cooperative is available where you work, you approach them, they will be able to give you the amount you need for your own equity contribution. Another avenue through which you can raise your own equity contribution, that is your down payment, is through your pension contributions account. You can approach your pension fund administrators. You need to find out which company is responsible for your pension fund. Who are the managers of your pension fund? You approach them. They are mandated by Business Facilitation Act. The act came into being 2023. It was signed by former President Muhammadu Buhari. So what you do is you approach them and tell them, okay, you want to access so amount from your pension savings account in order to use it and pay your equity contribution. It is expressly stated in the Business Facilitation Act that any worker can take part of his pension contributions towards making down payment for any house he wants to buy under National Housing Fund. So isn't it good? Isn't it okay? You can find out that these are things the federal government has put in place towards making sure that no civil servant retires without a roof over his own head. You should be able to take advantage of it before you retire. But ignorance has cost a lot of people this opportunity. They retire without even having a house in their own village. But this shouldn't happen to you or anyone you know. Just like and share this video. You will be saving a life. The remaining documents you need to attach are letter of consent to mortgage. Is already prepared by the PMB. All you need to do is you go through it. Once it's okay by you, of course it's okay. You sign it. They will not take it along. Then passport photograph and your official ID card. Once all these things are in place, what next? Your PMB conducts affordability assessment. And what is affordability assessment? They will look at how much you are applying for, vis-a-vis how much is your monthly income and how long do you have left in service. So it must be balanced in such a manner that they will make sure that what you are collecting as loan, you will be able to offset it within the remaining period of your service years. That is what is called affordability assessment. So when they look at it, they will be able to tell you, you are applying for 25 million naira. You can actually get up to 40 million. You can actually get up to 50 million. If you, for instance, you're applying for 50 million, when they have finished conducting affordability assessment, they might tell you, no, you won't be able to finish paying, collecting 1/3 of your salary every month for the remaining number of years you have in service. It won't amount up to 50 million naira. So what we have calculated, you can comfortably collect 35 million naira. Within the period you have left in service, you will be able to pay off. That is affordability assessment. Having done that and advise you on the right amount to apply for, they submit your application to Federal Mortgage Bank. They parcel it to the Federal Mortgage Bank, and once approved, it would always be approved once all these documents are available, once all these criteria are in place. Once approved, Federal Mortgage Bank issues you a loan offer letter through the same primary mortgage bank. The next thing is that the property title is transferred as first legal mortgage to your PMB and Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, in the sense that it will be transferred. That is title in the property you are purchasing or the property you are building. It will be transferred to this bank pending when you finish offsetting the loan. That is what it means. And in an event of default, for instance, God forbid the person dies, or God forbid the person is being dismissed from service, that wouldn't be your portion anyway. What happens? The Federal Mortgage Bank needs to recover the loan, and forfeiture comes in, they will sell. When sold, they will take their balance remaining and give to you or your successors what is remaining. That's what this clause is talking about. Now, funds are disbursed to the property vendor. If you are buying a completed house, the fund will not be disbursed to you. It will go from Federal Mortgage Bank to your PMB, that is Primary Mortgage Bank. From Primary Mortgage Bank, it will go to the vendor, the person that is selling the property to you. And in the case of where you are building your own plot from the scratch, the contractor you have presented, the money will be released to him in batches, in tranches. They will look at, the PMB, Primary Mortgage Bank, will say, okay, from foundation to so level, we release 5 million. From lintel level to roofing level, they may release another 10 million gradually until the house is being completed. Now, let's look at repayment. Repayment is deducted monthly from your salary. When it is being deducted by your employer, I told you it's also by default. When it is being deducted, it is being sent to PMB, Primary Mortgage Bank. Then Primary Mortgage Bank will also send to Federal Mortgage Bank. Remember, from my own experience, I told you that what I was repaying monthly, calculate it in a year, it was less than the rent I was collecting. But the warning here is, many people take NHF loans and end up buying encumbered or fraudulent properties. Their salaries are deducted monthly without any house allocated to them by the end of the day. Take, for instance, it is a real life story. 2 weeks ago, a head of a government security agency told me of some of their staff who took NHF loans, paid the money to the developers for houses, and years later, no house has been allocated to any of them. And these staff salaries are being deducted monthly in repaying loans they have not taken advantage of. Their money has ended up in the deep pockets of Yahoo and fraudulent developers. That's why encumberedproperties.com is here to help you and conduct due diligence on any property or estate before you commit a borrowed fund into it. It is worse to repay a loan for a house that will never be yours. If you want me to personally guide you through the process, I will be willing to do so until you get the loan and the house allocated to you at a simple running cost of 250,000 naira. This also covers due diligence on the real estate company before we recommend that the loan be transferred or released to them by your PMB. Subscribe to this channel and comment below or send us a direct message if you are interested in this offer. Share this video with every civil servant or salary earner you know. Don't let them retire homeless. When I look out there and see what people are going through, waiting to build houses with their pension, waiting to build houses with their gratuity, I laugh, because most of them end up not getting the gratuity. Most of them end up, you see a lot of heartbreaking stories from so many civil servants. I know of a couple of them who retired hoping to use their pension to build houses. One, when the gratuity came, the gratuity couldn't bring out the house from foundation. I'm not actually laughing at anybody, but I think we make hay while the sun shines. We take this advantage and this opportunity because once you retire, you are no longer entitled to access the federal housing loan. So I would encourage you to share this video with every civil servant or salary earner you know. Don't let them retire poor. or homeless. You will be doing a good service to humanity by doing so. I remain Madueke Nwere. I'm a chief superintendent of police, a real estate lawyer, and by God's grace, the founder, encumberedproperties.com. I love you. Thank you.